Free electron theory. On earlier slides, the earlier video lecture, I have discussed about three questions that was related to the properties of the metals, how to define free electron gas in metals, and how and why one can use the concept of bound system for the free electron gas in metals. Right. So I am repeating again a little bit portion of those slides, that free electrons gas in crystal, basically why we are saying that free electron gas. The first point is about the free particle. We define free particle only to those particle where they can move here and there freely. It means there is no potential. So potential is zero. Potential is zero, and because of that there is no force. So particle can move here and there. This was the first point. Second point, that no any single particle electron leaves the surface of the metal. It means one can conclude that there is higher potential on the surface of the metal. So these are 2 points. Number one, potential is zero, and potential is higher at the boundary, at the surfaces of the crystal. So these were the 2 points which we have considered here, and there was no any mutual interaction between the electrons, those free electrons. And free electrons are here the valence electrons of the metal atom. So these were the some points about the free electrons, and now I have to discuss about the free electron theory, that what basically how one can basically find out the eigenvalues and eigenfunction for these free electrons. Right. So in this section of video I will discuss that free electron theory and the approach of quantum mechanics to these free electrons. Right. So free electrons theory was proposed by Sommerfeld by implementing the idea of free electrons, that was particle in a box in quantum mechanics, where one used the Schrodinger's time independent equation to determine the energy and eigenfunction of the free particle. So Schrodinger equations is d2 psi plus 2m upon h cross square E minus v psi is equal to 0. This is our Schrodinger equation, time independent Schrodinger equation, which we have to use for these free electrons. But in quantum mechanics we have used this equation for a bound system, right, to a single atom, and the energy of the electron in this system was quantized. That means energy is in discrete form. So in the beginning we have to keep this idea in our mind, that we are using time independent Schrodinger equation which were used for a bound system, that was single atom, and the energy of electron there was quantized. It means discrete. Right. And here we are using the same approach as we have applied on the bound system on the free electrons in metal. So the question is how to determine restrictions imposed by quantum mechanics on the energy of an electron moves inside the crystal. So this is one of the major important point. Right. So what are those conditions? A, number one, the permissible energy levels are determined by considering that electron is limited to remain within the one-dimensional or three-dimensional, as the case will be, at the given length of the crystal. So here we have defined the boundary, that the free electrons in the metal will remain within this boundary that varies from 0 to L. This is x is equal to 0. Dimension of this metal box varies from x is equal to x1. I have mentioned here x1 is L. So this is the length, right? Length of the box. So this is first case, that within this length we have to find out the permissible energy level. Second point is potential is constant inside the metal and considered equal to 0, and electron cannot escape because of high potential at the surfaces, right? So in the first case, the energy levels we have defined within the boundary condition, that is the one dimensional length, or might be three dimensional, it depends on the situation. And second important point is about the potential, that is constant or considered 0 here. Now the point here, moving electrons inside a metal can be associated with the waves with a wave function psi x in one dimensional case, that is psi r in three dimensional. So characteristics of these electrons can be studied with the help of Schrodinger's one dimensional equation, and that equation you know is d2 psi upon dx square plus 2m upon h cross square E minus v psi is equal to 0. The potential energy is defined as V, that is function of x, because we are considering here one dimensional situation. So v x is equal to v0 within the range when x is less than or equal to 0 and x is greater than or equal to L, and this potential is equal to 0 for when x is greater than 0 and x is less than L. Here v0 we have considered that is infinite at x is equal to 0 and at x is equal to L. So this is the definition of our potential into this case, into this particular case where we are discussing about the free electron theory of gases. So by using these condition of potential from equation 2 for an electron inside the well that is equal to 0, so V is equal to 0 here. So you can see here that these are the dimension of the infinite depth potential well, and V is equal to 0 inside the potential well at x is equal to 0. Here this is x is equal to 0, that is this particular wall represent the infinite potential. So it means the particle cannot jump outside the well itself, and similarly at x is equal to L you can see that is also infinite. So at x is equal to 0 and at x is equal to L, this is the dimension of the potential well, and particle is inside and are free to move here and there. So electron can move freely within the well because forces are saturated. So net force is 0. So V is equal to minus F dot dr is equal to 0. If F is equal to 0, that means potential is equal to 0. This is the idea. So this idea is basically inside the metal there is a uniform constant potential because of the positive ions of the crystal of the metal, and that electron moves through that without any disturbance, without any change into the energy. So the Schrodinger equations becomes d2 psi plus d2 psi upon dx square plus 2m upon me upon h cross square E psi is equal to 0. Here V is equal to 0, so I am putting the value of V here, that is 0. So equation becomes like this way: d2 psi upon dl x square plus k square psi is equal to 0, where k square is equal to this factor 2me upon h cross square. From here you can find out the value of E, that is h cross square k square upon 2m. So I have these two equation, number 3 and equation number 4. This is second order differential equation, equation 3, and we have to solve it. The solution of this equation number 3 is like this: a sin kx plus b cos kx, where a and b are constant, arbitrary constant. Basically we have to determine these value by applying some boundary condition. Boundary conditions are what? Those basically at x is equal to 0 and at x is equal to L, what will be the value of wave function? Through that one can find out the value of these constant. So applying the boundary condition from equation 2 on the this particular equation. So the first one, at x is equal to 0, psi x will be equal to 0. It means at the boundary here you can see at x is equal to 0 there is no any probability to find the particle, so obviously the wave function will be equal to 0. And same situation at x is equal to L. So at x is equal to L you cannot find the particle. Particle is between x is equal to 0 and less than L, and beyond this side and other side there is no probability of finding the electron. So when we put the value of x is equal to 0 and psi x is equal to 0 in equation number 5, so we get this result. In the left hand side, psi x is equal to 0, a sin kx, x is equal to 0, so this factor is equal to 0 sin 0, plus b cos 0, b is constant, kx, x is equal to 0, so kx is equal to 0. So we are getting this result, right? So in the left hand side, that is 0, that is the result of these two terms, a sin 0 plus b cos 0. It means the sum of these two terms is equal to 0. So if we analyze the first part, that is a sin 0, so here one can conclude that sin 0 is equal to 0. It means this factor is 0. So the conclusion was basically what? The sum of these two terms, a sin 0 and b cos 0, is equal to 0, and this is possible only when either of these one of these factor is equal to 0. So sin 0 is equal to 0, it means a is not equal to 0. Here cos 0 is equal to 1, that is non-zero term, so it might be b is equal to 0. So conclusion is that b is equal to 0 and a is not equal to 0 from this analysis, right? So this was the procedure to determine the value of arbitrary constant, that was b. And now applying the second boundary condition, that is at x is equal to L, and again at the wall there is no probability to find the electron, so psi x will be equal to 0. Now we have seen an earlier slide that b, arbitrary constant, is equal to 0. So when we put the value in this wave function, psi x is equal to a sin kx and b is equal to 0, so the second term, there is no contribution of the second term, so psi x is equal to a sin kx. Now when you are putting the value of x is equal to L, psi x is equal to 0 obviously, and the wave function form will be psi x is equal to a sin kx, and it becomes psi x is equal to 0 when you put the value at the second point, second boundary condition. It is a sin kl, because at x is equal to L, so a is not equal to 0, it means sin kl is equal to 0 if we analyze, because from the earlier slide or analysis about the arbitrary constant. So A is not equal to 0, it means the second factor is equal to 0, that is sin KL, and it is possible only when sin KL will be equal to the sin n pi. When we compare both sides, we found that KL is equal to n pi, where n is an integer that represents the order of the state. But remember that n is equal to 0, state is not allowed. You cannot put the value of n is equal to 0, because if you will put the n is equal to 0, so k will be equal to 0. If k is equal to 0, that means psi x is equal to 0 everywhere in the box. K is the wave vector that comes into the wave function, right? Here this k. So when you put n is equal to 0, you have to put the value of it, and then that time psi x will be equal to 0. It means there is no particle, right, associated with this wave function. So n is equal to 0 is not allowed for this particular case. And now when we analyze this situation, sin KL is equal to sin n pi, we can say that KL is equal to n pi, and from here one can find out the value of k, that is n pi upon L. Therefore the solution of the Schrodinger wave equation in the region of the potential well, that basically is from 0 to L, psi n, that wave function is equal to a sin kx. Now putting the value of k, it becomes a sin n pi x upon L. So for each value of n, there is a psi n quantum state of the electron with energy En, that is En is equal to, p square upon 2m. P is equal to h cross k, so h cross is square, k square upon 2m. And now put the value of k from here, so it becomes h cross square upon 2m into n square pi square upon L square. By this way one can find out the energy eigenvalue of the electron. So after simplification of it, En we get n square h square upon 8ml square, similar to the bound system like in atom, one electron atom. So the states basically is further can be shown into the potential well. So E1 correspond n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, that is E2, and that is basically equal to the for E1. N is equal to 3, that is equal 3 state E3, and that is equal to the 9 of E1. At n is equal to 4, fourth state, and that is represented by the E4 equal to 16 E1. So all these states you see are discrete energy states. These are known as discrete energy level, right? So you know that E in is equal to n square h square upon 8ml square. When you will put the value of n is equal to 1, that will be correspond to the ground state, and n is equal to 2 is the first excited state. And when you are putting the value of n here, that becomes 4, and 4 times of E1. Here n is equal to 3 becomes 9 times of E1, n is equal to 4 becomes 16 times of E1. So this is the ratio between ground state to the other excited state. But remember, to solve such kind of problem, the first excited state will be represented by n is equal to 2, not by n is equal to 1. N is equal to 1 is the ground state. So this is one of the important point. You can say that n is equal to 2 is your first excited state. So if one asks you to solve find out the first excited state energy of the electron or free electron or free particle, then you have to put the value n is equal to 2, and second excited state n is equal to 3, right? So E1 is the ground state. Now we have seen the energy states. They are discrete for this particular system. And now about the wave function. So psi n is represented by this a sin kx formula a here. So where a is normalization constant, this a is normalization constant, which we have to find out. So how to determine the value of a? So for that we will use the boundary condition, normalization condition, that is basically minus infinity to plus infinity mod of psi square dx is equal to 1, where this mod psi square is the probability. So here you can see that this px is the probability of a particle within the range of dx. So for that basically we can write it mathematically, mod psi square dx. And total probability within the free space will be minus infinity to plus infinity px dx. But here in our case we have considered that the metal is of length L, so it varies from 0 to L one dimensionally, x is equal to 0 to L. So the limit of integration in our case will be 0 to L. So again, this is one of the important point for this particular discussion when we are trying to make this wave function as a normalized wave function. So the simplification of this result, this is the normalization condition. Here the distribution is equal to 1. It will, if this wave function is normalized, psi x is normalized, so it must satisfy this particular condition for that particular metal within the dimension of 0 to L. Here psi x is equal to a function that is not normalized, we have to make it normalized, right? So 0 to L a square sin square n pi x upon L dx is equal to 1, right? So we have to solve the integration of sin square, and for that we have to simplify it by this particular way, that cos 2 theta is equal to 1 minus 2 sin square theta, right? So I have to find out the value of sin square theta from here, and that is 1 by 2 1 minus cos 2 n pi x upon L. So instead of this sin x sin square n pi x upon L, I have to write this complete factor 1 by 2 and 1 minus cos 2 n pi x upon L. Now I can integrate it easily. So the result is a square up by 2 x minus L upon 2 n pi sin 2 n pi x upon L, and the limit value 0 to L is equal to 1. When I put the value of x is equal to L and x is equal to 0, I observe this kind of result. So a square by 2 into L is equal to 1. So from here one can find out the value of a, that is equal to square root 2 upon L. It means a is the normalization constant. I have to put this value in the wave function here. This is a. So psi x, the normalized wave function is a sin n pi x upon L, is becomes psi n x is equal to root 2 upon L sin n pi x upon L. So this is the exact wave function which is defined for the free electron in a potential well of depth, infinite depth, right? A wave function is normalized or not normalized. What is it means? What is the physical significance? Basically you have made it normalized. What is it means? The wave function which are shown here, in case of n is equal to 1 and n is equal to 2, if suppose a wave function shows such kind of behavior, now this psi1 is not limited within the boundary x is equal to 0 to x is equal to L, its some part basically is coming outside the dimension, so it means this wave function is not normalized. We have to make it normalized. Basically we have to bound it within the given dimension, for which we have to calculate the energy states and eigen states, right? So a is normalization constant is basically looks like the amplitude of the wave, that is basically fixed, that is constant, and that normalization constant we found here using the condition, right, for that particular dimension. That is x is equal to 0 to x is equal to L. So now one can find out the wave function for different states. N is equal to 1, that will be psi 1 x, that is in this case you will get only two nodes at x is equal to 0 and at x is equal to a. So this is x is equal to 0 and this is x is equal to L, right? So instead of a you can write here L. This is L. At n is equal to 2 you are getting 3 nodes. At x is equal to 0, at x is equal to a by 2, and at x is equal to L again. So L is the length of this potential well. So here you can see it, that at x is equal to 0, at x is equal to L by 2, and at x is equal to L. And for n is equal to 3 you can see here that you are getting first node at x is equal to 0, then second at x is equal to a upon 2 3, and third one at x is equal to a upon 3, and the fourth one is at x is equal to L. So these are the nodes, these are the behavior of the wave function. That wave function is normalized. So probability density of the particle you can define by this way: px dx within the range of dx, that is equal to mod psi square dx over a small distance dx, right? So when you will put the value of psi n, that is the normalized wave function, one can find out then the value of the probability of that particle to find within the dimension. So for n is equal to 1, x is equal to L by 2. This right, when you solve the probability for the given function in case of n is equal to 1, so then that time you observe the particle at the center at x is equal to L by 2. So this is the case. So at the center at x is equal to L by 2, right? For n is equal to 2 case you will find the probability of the particle at two places, at L is equal to at x is equal to L by 4 and at x is equal to 3 L by 4, right? So in case of n is equal to 3 you will get the probability of the particle at 3 position, at x is equal to L by 6, at 3 L by 6 and 5 L by 6. So these are the points which you can see. So here I just try to give the answer of two questions, that what are the free electron gas and how one can basically use the approach of bound system to the free electron gas in a metal, and how one can find out the eigenvalues and eigenfunction for these free electrons.